On the farm today. Some newer spreader here. And got a barn find Katana. Looks like the plastic is in pretty good shape. Missing a mirror. Got an old Alice Chalmers tractor here. Not sure where the cows are at.
I'm going to loosen up this top caliper so I can get the brakes to release. At least I'm going to try.
My God, look at the little calf. How old are these guys here?
They were born late this year. They were born in towards the end of June. Bull's getting old. He hurt his ankle last year, so figured
Are they demanding food or what's happening here?
maybe the mosquitoes are bugging them. The mosquitoes are awful.
They're nasty out there.
Normally they're not moving this time of the day.
When did you put this bike in the barn?
I think in like 2008. Probably the last time I rode it.
What's the history on it?
I bought it from an investment banker that he bought it, I think new. Rode it a little bit and he was pulling out of a parking lot with it and he got a car surprised him and clipped one of the mirrors and he tipped it over into another parked car and he got scared of it and never got back on it again.
So the last time it ran was about 10 years ago?
Yeah.
What happened to the mirror?
One of the cows got out and tipped it over.
We got it back to the shop. We're going to do a quick wash to it. Looks like it has 6,600 miles. So we're taking the fairings off this. I think we're going to take the carb racks off, clean out the bowls, take the air cleaner off, make sure there aren't any mouse nests in it. There was one under the back seat. I've blown this whole area here out with air and then took the plugs out and then pretty much filled the cylinders up with WD-40. And we're going to turn it over with a new battery before we put the plugs back in.
Oh, this battery's up on there. Okay. That's just a drain hose, I imagine.
Can you just pull the whole thing out with it or no? There you go.
Okay, and an air filter.
What is this all about here?
You have to fix that.
Does that just plug in the end?
I think so.
Should go flush.
Well, that thing's filtered. Look at all the crap on
And have a
it. Inside the filter? Yeah, I see that.
Can you take that out there? And
I think you just gotta take those screws off. Let's put them up here.
looks like this plugs in there like that. Bunch of seed and possibly mice shit in there. I sprayed a bunch of WD-40 down there. And we're freaking out. It looked like it was coming out of a head gasket. But there's actually a weep hole or a drain hole at the bottom. Now, this throttle works fantastic.
See that?
Backwards filter. It's trapped in the inside. Not the outside. Looks like our choke is kind of froze up here. It goes right there. Yeah, the cable is seized to the cable sheath.
Let's try it, huh?
Got the recharge kit here.
Filter's opposite, though.
Should blow some air through it before
Yeah,
you do
you
it?
could do it. Yeah, you should.
We'll blow all that crap out of there. So we're gonna take the pads out. We're gonna keep the system sealed for now, just not hit that front brake. And then after we're done washing this a second time, we're gonna probably take that master off. Take a look at it. It rolls now. Those front brakes were applied the whole time. Yeah, it thus far. Yeah, I hate to get all these electrical connectors wet and stuff, but it's so nasty that I'm just gonna go for it. Hose are all down. One last look at her. We're gonna wash it down again. We'll try to stay off these connectors as much as possible. But she's still pretty filthy, so we're gonna continue cleaning. All right, we've got the carb rack here. They're looking pretty clean at a glance inside. Looks like we maybe have an idle adjustment here. Looks pretty clean. We'll just, I think just kind of wipe them out a little bit and see what happens with these carbs. I think possibly the guy who stored this ran it out of gas, which is probably the best thing for it. It looks like that float needle's working pretty good. Some old crappy fuel came up out of there. It's probably, I don't know, maybe in the fuel line. So all the carbs look good. We got that back on. Unfortunately, we broke our choke cable trying to free it, so we need one of those. But we got all the plugs out, and I'm gonna see if I can blow some of that WD-40 out of there that's stuck in there. Get the battery in there. It's not quite the right battery, but I think it'll work. Looks like we got power. Oh, it's just rolling over. It rolled over a bunch of times to get that WD out of there. It is. Probably good, eh? So made a little mess there, but got her up and lubed. I'm gonna toss some plugs back in and we'll take a look at that gas tank. Here's the tank. And probably tough to see, but it's pretty clean down there. And there's a little bit of fuel left in there. It's possible this tank was drained before storage. That's turned to varnish. So you gotta try to get that out of there, swish it out, and get some fresh fuel in there. This petcock didn't turn originally, but it seems like it freed up. And I think you gotta run, maybe not, you just pour it out, but vacuum to it. I don't know. It's on reserve. Looks like the gas is just coming right out of this thing. So we'll just keep working it and flush it out with a little fresh gas and get her back in the bike. So we got some fresh gas in it. Got that petcock in the prime setting. Not sure how this is going to work out, but we're going to see if it fires up for the first time in 10 years or whatever it is. Let's see if it turns over with the clutch.
Chokes on. Go ahead. Should I keep choking it or not?
I guess.
Right,
Took the whole Katana front brake system off, split the caliper, and the brake fluid is just completely crystallized. One piston was moving, but really crap come out of there. But the other three weren't. We took the master cover off, and the fluid is just nasty. But this master appears to be working. Clean it out, run some fresh fluid through it. Have to rebuild these calipers. So we get the petcock here, and it's leaking fuel. We're pretty sure that diaphragm or something ain't right in there. So we need to fix that. We got a petcock rebuild kit here. We'll see how it works out.
I'm thinking this diaphragm, while you're cranking the bike over, creates a vacuum with the pistons going down, then allows fuel to go into the carburetors. And if the engine, like you wipe out and the engine's dead, they don't want the gas to be dumping out and like start a fire. But then it must be prime where you can dump some fuel down into the carb to get it started.
Right as reserve, prime, and on. No off position. Here's the body work. You got reserve facing the front, on the bottom, PRI facing the back. We're gonna try a vacuum on some different positions with this.
So we're just gonna see if the diaphragm's blown, if this will even possibly pull a vacuum. Yeah, it's holding the vacuum.
Reserve, holding a vacuum. Maybe that valve in there is stuck or something. So
It's a little flattened out right here and there. Not as much in the end. I'd replace it. What the hell?
I think that big round one was for that.
Oh yeah, this is really nice and clean in here. There wasn't a bunch of garbage in the tank. Okay, so I'm going to lift these clips up. So there's a spring, there's the O-ring. So that thing's got like a, yeah, it's got to go in that slot. Maybe I'll blow this out. No.
Let's take the diaphragm out and we can push it out the other side.
Okay. And it's easier working on somebody else's bike because I don't have to pay for it. And you got all the brand new parts right there.
I remember the F11 kit where you had the rebuild kit and was missing half the gaskets.
So far, nothing looks bad. Diaphragm's nice. And that thing. Looks like a little wire or a little prong in the center.
Well, you can see that this has got the vacuum pulls it in to release the fuel.
Yeah, we just popped it out.
The problem is with this gasket.
Diaphragm?
The
I
gasket
think
right
that
there.
one right there, that's like a valve seating.
We get a new one with the kit, so
You can see how this O-ring is deteriorated. I'm gonna just tear it out because we got new stuff.
so that that metal tab in the center, I think in the prime position it pushes that valve back to let the fuel through, and then the reserve and on it works with vacuum. Our new valve has a nice round O-ring as compared to this. It's all tapered and beat back. I think that there is an air hole, so the diaphragm can move around without a vacuum on it.
Just putting a little Vaseline on this so that it'll slide in easier. In Germany, it's called Der Wiener Schleider. So you gotta have the spring.
This thing here is foolproof. It only goes on one way. Makes you put that valve on the correct direction.
So this gasket was on for dear life. And now I'm trying to get it off. And there's like a little raised lip that I don't want to carve up because that's what seals the gasket.
We got in the reserve position. He's going to swish it. You can see it's not leaking.
Let's give it one pump.
Yeah,
Let's show the gauge.
He's got a vacuum pump here. One pump.
Oh yeah, she works.
I think he's got to warm up some there. It's still bogging a little bit. So I got these carbs back apart. These here appear to be vacuum ports for sinking. Not really seeing much for an idle mixture screw anywhere. Maybe there is one that's plugged or I'm just missing it. But I took out this jet here and there was crap in it. I blew it out with air. She's clean. So I think it's going to come off idle a lot better now with that big bog. This here's the main jet. But I'm going to keep working through these carbs and clean them all out. And I'm thinking it's going to run pretty good then. Alright, got these carbs back on it. Show you where we're at here. It's running tits now.